Alright, what is up you guys, and welcome back. So today we're out here at the ranch right now doing a little bit of deer hunting. It's like the middle of October, cold front came through, the deer are moving. But today, this is not a hunting video, not a fishing video or anything like that. I'm going to be doing another episode of wild game cooking only. So I'm going to show y'all what we're cooking, go over all the ingredients, what I'm going to make, what I plan to make. Hopefully it turns out good, and let's get right into it. So to start off, show you what piece of meat we have today. So we're going to be cooking deer shanks. This is an axis, this is a whitetail. And the cool thing about shank, at least what I think the cool thing is that a lot of people just completely disregard it because it's such a tough piece of meat with a lot of fibers and tendons and stuff in it like that. But what makes it special is that just like any other tough piece of meat, whenever you cook it real slow, it gets really tender. And this stuff almost turns to like a gelatinous type of texture. It's amazing. So what we're going to be making is a deer shank stew. And I'm honestly just making the recipe up in my head as I go. But I have the main ingredients that you would put in stew. So let me go over those real quick. We have celery, onion, carrot, red potato. We got some mushrooms to put in there. Then we have our garlic. And yeah, so basically just put all those in a pot. Cook it real slow for 6 to 8 hours, and we'll see what we come up with. Also, let me touch on a couple other ingredients real quick and what I plan to do. So, to start off, I have some thick cut bacon right here. I'm going to dice this up, throw it in the Dutch oven. Yes, we're using the Dutch oven right here. Obviously, it's not on the fire, but we're going to be shoving it in the oven. We already got it hot, really hot right now, a little bit of oil in there. But yeah, we're going to throw the bacon in there, get it searing. That'll give us some juices, some bacon grease, that really good flavor that everyone loves. And then we will go ahead and sear our shanks. Very important to have your shanks extremely dry, or any piece of meat whenever you're searing it. Very important to have it super dry whenever you're searing it so you can get a good crust and good flavor on it. And then after that, we're just going to start loading in all of our stuff, layering it up. And then we're going to add in our chicken broth. This is like the base for our stew, soup kind of stuff right there. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Should be super simple. And then the only other two things we have right here are some ground black pepper and some thyme. Oh, and some fresh rosemary that we picked off the tree. I firmly believe that whenever it comes to wild game, especially venison, rosemary and thyme are your best friends. They take away any of that gamey flavor people talk about. I don't like to say gamey flavor because that is just what wild animals taste like. It's not gamey, that's just how they are. Yeah, so it takes away any of that flavor that people talk about, and also it just tastes absolutely delicious. So let's get to cooking, guys, and hopefully this turns out good. Fingers crossed. All right, we got 2 pieces of bacon, just ripped them up, threw them in there. We're just gonna let those render down, you could say. While we're doing that, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna season the meat. So what we're gonna start with is ground black pepper, of course. Now the only problem I'm having right now is I left my tripod in the deer stand for the phone. So I'm holding this with one hand, doing everything else with the other. We're gonna season up with some black pepper. And we're obviously gonna season the stew after we add it in there, but this is just for right now. A little bit of thyme. Oh, that was a lot. It's all right. We'll rub that in. We won't put any on the other side. And honestly, some people might be saying that is a whole lot of thyme, but it's really not. You honestly will not taste that much once we mix it in. Okay, now that we got that on there, next step is to do the rosemary, wherever that went. Actually, no, I'm just going to throw this in the bottom of the pan once I start to sear it. But we're going to add a little bit of salt. I'm going to sprinkle it on there. It's a salt grinder, so it takes 2 hands. So give me a second to do that, then I'll show you what we're doing next. All right, the bacon has let out a lot of grease, so the next step is to add in our meat. We're going to start with this big old axis one. As you can see, it barely even fits in here, so we're going to let that sear on each side for about 2 minutes, just trying to get a nice crust on it, nice little bit of flavor in there. And then we'll move that over to the side, add in the other one, and then we'll start pouring in the broth and everything. So we seared them up about 2 minutes on each side. As you can see, this one has a nice crust on it right there. And honestly, it was harder than I thought because they would barely even fit in the pan, and I got it super smoky in here, as you can see. But yeah, pan's rolling, pan's smoking. The next step that we're going to do is saute the onions and the celery. So we're going to throw in half a stick of butter, and it's probably going to burn immediately. Then we're going to throw in all of our garlic, all the onions, all the celery, a little bit of rosemary, and just let those saute, get a nice little caramelization on that onion. And then we'll add our meat back in, add the chicken broth, all the rest of the ingredients, and then we just let it sit. Super simple. All right, we got our garlic, onion, and celery in here. We're just going to stir it around, and this doesn't take long because we don't want our garlic to burn. So I'd give it a couple minutes here, turn the heat down a little bit, and then actually what I'm going to do after that is, because I just thought about this in my head, I don't want this to be too soupy. I want it to have just a slightly bit thicker consistency. So we're going to add a little bit of flour here, and almost make like a little roux before we add the chicken broth. So I'll keep you all updated and record whenever we do that. All right, it's been going for a minute. We're gonna add a little bit of flour. It doesn't take much. A couple tablespoons is all we need. Mix that in. I'll let it soak up all the butter and stuff, butter and grease. And yeah, then in comes the chicken broth. Also, I forgot to mention I added the rosemary. So just a little bit of it. I still have another little sprig to throw in later, but you can smell it cooking. It smells amazing. We're gonna go ahead and add the meat back in there. So put in the axis first. And let me tell you, these things barely fit. Hopefully that'll work like that. The whitetail one. And also, guys, don't mind the mess around here. You know, not much room in the 1-bedroom cabin, so get in where you fit in. All right, put that in there. And now we're gonna add the chicken stock, and I don't know how much of this it's going to take, but we only have one of them. This should be enough. Oh, started pouring it in. It's probably gonna take the whole thing. Maybe not. Yeah, it is. And we do want our meat to be covered, but it's okay if it's not covered right now, because once it starts to cook and get tender, this will start to fall off, and yeah, it'll be perfect. So before I add the rest of that chicken stock, I'm gonna add in the mushrooms, potatoes, and carrot. And also, fun fact, guys, this is all 1 carrot. It was a huge carrot, biggest carrot I've ever seen. So we're gonna add the mushroom, potato, and carrot, and that should obviously, you know, bring the water level up, because we don't want to overfill this. And then we'll see if it needs more chicken stock, but if not, that's all we're doing. We're gonna throw this in the oven, set at 250, which should be good enough, and then I'll turn that down later in the day. But yeah, that's it, guys. I got everything added in here. As you can see, the mushrooms are floating. It took the whole thing of chicken stock. This is still above a little bit, but it's all right. Got the other sprig of rosemary in there. And now we're just gonna throw the lid on. Let me give you one last look of it before it all cooks down. Looks amazing. I'm gonna throw the lid on. Ooh, it's heavy. There we go. Now we're just gonna let it sit on there, and then once the oven heats up and once that starts to simmer a little bit, I'll throw it in the oven. Try to keep the temperature pretty consistent the whole day. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you an update after about 3 hours. All right, guys. Well, it's been about 3.5 or 4 hours. I'm about to get ready to head to the deer stand, so I'm gonna show you all this, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven to let it finish cooking. So pull that lid off. There it is. Looking good. Starting to come off the bone, as you can see. Here's a whole piece right here, falling off. Pulled right off. It's still not tender though, so it definitely needs more time. The problem I'm having with this one is that it's too big to fit down in the pan, so I have to keep turning it. But as you can see, that sauce is looking good. Yeah, I already know this is gonna be delicious. So I'm gonna put the top back on, stick it back in the oven, and then we're gonna give it about, I guess, about 3-4 more hours, and it'll be ready whenever we come back from hunting this evening. So y'all stay tuned to see how it ends up. Well, we just got back from hunting. This has been cooking for 7 hours and 36 minutes exactly. I had my stopwatch set, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like now. Super good. Let me show you how tender this is. You can just squeeze it to pieces. I'd say it's done. We're gonna fix a bowl, get a little taste test. You already know it's gonna be good. It's just falling off the bone here. Perfect. Sitting at the table right here, just finished eating dinner. Let me tell you what, that was amazing. Super silky. The liquid was the perfect consistency between like almost gravy-like, but yet still thin enough to eat as like a stew soup kind of thing. The meat was just melt in your mouth, fall off the bone, tender. It was crazy. So I didn't even show a taste test because honestly I was just super hungry. But I can tell you my bowl was pretty clean afterwards. Also, I took some tortillas and took some of just that meat and some of the sauce, or some of the liquid and put it on the tortilla, and it was amazing. Some of like the best tacos ever. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not already. And if you like these videos with the cooking only, let me know in the comments if you want to see more just like this. So once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.